Mrs. Cutter, how are you? Did you happen to see America's Most Wanted last night?
What'd she want?
She had seen the story about this killer, and the police sketches look just like you.
Great, this will make me a hit with the neighbors.
The Stepfather, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love My Stupid Fucked Up Family.
Well, I don't think it's the family that's so much fucked up in this situation.
No.
It's more like the stepfather himself.
Well, everybody has their problems, but, you know, I mean more so like people watching this movie. You go, God, I hate my dad. He pisses me off so much. And then you go, see this? And you go, well...
You know what? Cyrus, you got a good angle on this. Because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking to myself, man, you know what? It's hard enough for a man and a woman to hook up as it is. This just makes it a whole lot harder. Like, all those single mothers out there who really need, like, a man to come in and kind of help them raise the kids.
Well, they're kind of going in, like territory that I can only imagine when Corey sees this, he's going to be upset about. It's like, hey!
I know.
Do not be making the single moms paranoid.
Yeah, that's the last thing he needs.
I know, right?
I mean, he's got his whole hit it and quit plan worked out.
But we are talking about the new remake of The Stepfather.
The Stepfather 2009.
Yeah, the original film was with one of our favorite actors, Terry O'Quinn, who plays John Locke on Lost.
I know.
It was in 1987 that originally came out, and I guess that was kind of his big break, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it's his big break in as much as I don't remember him from that movie.
I think I saw it, but not enough to really leave much of an impact.
You know what? I remember when it came out, but I didn't see it because during that 87 period, like right after in the wake of Fatal Attraction, we got a ton of these kind of suburban thrillers that came out, and to me, this was just one more in there. They were just like looking for every angle. They were like, okay, what's gonna make you suburbanites paranoid?
Yeah, it was, and in fact, every 6 or 7 years or so we go through that. There was that one time not that long ago, there was a whole bunch of stuff about home invasions, and then before that it was a thing about evil cops.
Yes. What was that one with Ray Liotta and Kurt Russell?
Yeah,
because that was one of those within this whole era of these type movies.
You're not safe anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't go on vacation. You can't stay home.
You can't trust your neighbors.
You definitely can't go to outer space. Fuck that altogether.
Oh, no. Forget about that. All right, so originally in the old movie, you had Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
And they tried to get Terry O'Quinn back to hey, you want to reprise your role? And he's
That's right, they did.
Yeah, he's like, I kind of got this whole #1 show thing going on right now. I'm in Hawaii.
I appreciate the offer, quaint as it may be, but no.
So they said, okay, well, he's going to do Lost. Let's look at what other edgy adult shows are going on right now. And they pulled Dylan Wash from Nip Tuck. And I got to say, he's actually pretty good in the role.
You know what? The best thing about this movie is Dylan Wash, who really turns in a seriously solid turn as the stepfather. In this case, in the film, it starts off with he's just leaving this house. Looks like he's going to work in the morning. He's making coffee. He's spreading peanut butter on toast. Peanut butter.
Oh, no. Get you going with that peanut butter.
But as he leaves and he's putting stuff away and setting the alarm, we notice that his whole family is lying there slaughtered.
Yeah.
And so anyone who's familiar with this already knows what the premise of this is anyway, but that's a nice little intro into it. We see it's several months later. He's in a new town. He meets Celia Ward, who's hanging out with her two of her kids at a local grocery store. There's an obvious connection made, and the next thing you know, it's 6 months later, and they're engaged to be married, and he's already stepped firmly into that role as dad-to-be.
Right, and he's all like, hey, you know what, my wife and child died, and family means everything to me, and I just want us to be a family.
And he seems so nice and normal, even as Dylan Wash is so good in this film. Is it Wash? Walsh. I'm sorry. Dylan Wash was from 90210, wasn't it?
It was Dylan something.
Yeah, something like that.
Sideshow Luke Perry.
Anything that's vaguely a soap opera has a Dylan in it.
That's true. The thing is, what makes it work is that he doesn't really go predatory after this family. It's like Celia Ward kind of picks him up.
Yeah.
He's nice to her. He's a little flirty, but then he leaves it alone. And it's almost like you trap somebody by letting them walk right into your trap.
Well, he's definitely not stupid, but at the same time, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we like this guy. He sells us. We go, well, maybe they just didn't listen, the previous family. But the this was based loosely on a real case, a guy John List,
right?
yeah, who died in jail in 2008, who only actually murdered one family, but you're like, what a pussy.
Yeah, only one family.
Jeez,
Come on, dude.
Bo alone is married has married and murdered 3 or 4.
Yeah, that guy's an underachiever. Yeah, all his investments went sour, and he was $11,000 in debt on the mortgage, and he came down to like, wow, we're completely broke, and rather than see my family suffer through welfare and food stamps, I'll just kill him. And you know what? I think this guy's plan would have gone off mostly like how he wanted it, if not for the fact that, Celia Ward, his fiance, has a teenage son who gets back from military school.
Yeah, played by Penn Badgley. Penn Badgley? Really? Good Lord. Where do they get these names anywhere? Yeah, he's like a teenager, except, 8 years older.
Yeah, there is that. It's like
he's so clearly not like supposed to be like 16 or something. You're like, no.
Yeah. But having a teenage boy there, that kind of threatens the whole alpha male thing.
There we go. Now, don't let your mom know I've got a tequila stash. Worked my ass off trying to convince her I'm perfect. I know this must be a bit of a shock. Mom and me getting married and all, but I want you to know. I want us to be a real family.
Because without it, we have nothing.
Oh. Okay. Touche. So I get a little corny sometimes. I meant what I said. You just let me handle your mother. I'm gonna make sure you stay right here, where you belong. No more military school. We're gonna put this family back together. You and me, father and son.
Stepfather.
Stepfather. And son.
The hotness here is Amber Heard,
yes,
who plays the teenage son's girlfriend. And as a fellow critic friend of ours, Scott Weinberg, pointed out, wow, they must have spent $50-$60 on her wardrobe in this movie.
if that. I mean, this chick, like, whoever costumed her, like, somebody said, like, okay, we need to have the smallest bikini bottoms you can imagine.
Yeah, it's a less is more theory.
And it came back, and the guy was like, no, less than that. I basically want a string with a gland condition.
Yeah, she walks around pretty much the entire movie nothing but a bikini. And let me tell you, as an audience member, my hat is off to you, whoever made that decision.
Yes, whoever made the decision, and 3 stars for the director of photography, who made sure whenever she was on to shoot from her crotch.
Yes, he did. Oh my God, it's like it's almost its own character in the film.
It really is. And normally I'm like, that's disgraceful. But my God, was that a thing of beauty?
Oh man, she's just absolutely gorgeous, and she's actually pretty good in this too. She's not one of those like where you go, she's just pretty. It's like, you know what? I actually kind of liked her in this.
Yeah,
she's actually one of those actresses who's like right on the cusp right now. Like apparently she just won some role that won it away from Keira Knightley and Scarlett Johansson.
Ooh,
so it's like, it's on now. Really, this movie is led by Dylan Walsh. I cannot speak. He really sells us on this that we want him to succeed, even though he just killed this other family. I'm like, maybe he can make it work this time.
Look,
he's trying so hard. He's not going into this thinking, I want to rob these people.
True.
Or I want to murder these people. He doesn't want that. He genuinely wants this family that's going to be perfect and wonderful and great, and that everything's going to work out. But he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to not be, see things in black or white. When things start to go wrong and people question his decisions, he just gets more and more mad and frustrated, and he tries to, anger control. But when it's time to just say, fuck it, I can't do this anymore, boy, does he say, fuck it, I can't do this anymore.
Something else he doesn't seem to know is that you can't get a job without a social security number. Yeah. And if you do, they're going to ask you for one.
Which brings us to the real problem with this film, which is that a guy who manages to continually evade the law the way they keep telling us he has in the past, and get away with the stuff he has, is too dumb to figure that out.
Right.
And there's lots of stuff in the second half of this movie where, having to buy into the premise in the first place kind of slips away because we have to believe he's that smart, but so dumb that he wouldn't do these other things.
It's the kind of thing where, like, there's points where when it starts to unravel, he starts losing it.
Yeah.
There's a point early on where he tips his hand, and it's like, oh, dude, if you could have controlled it, you could have gone a long way without doing that particular thing.
The best I can say is that the movie does make clear that he is indeed mentally unstable,
Yes.
that he's not like some Hannibal Lecter super genius.
Right.
But even so, like I said, you've got to believe he's been evading the law successfully for this long. He shouldn't be dumb enough to make these mistakes that he keeps making.
As you brought up once before, how there were actually some really good camera work. There was some good camera work in here at times. Like the actors, like them all. But at the same time, this movie, I was happy for the fact that it didn't overload us with gore. Because I was like, okay, they're doing a remake of an old movie. Usually they try to make these so sensational that it's almost salacious. And I was happy at first that it didn't do that. But then by the end, I was like, yeah, but it didn't do anything new. And so it makes it almost kind of pointless.
If it wasn't for the last 20 minutes or so of this film, I would have given a matinee. But as it is, I got to give it a rental.
Well, I knew I was going to abandon matinee a lot sooner than that. But yeah, it's so much like what you call a rental movie. I mean, it has all the earmarks of it. And it's the kind of movie where if you rented it, you'd probably go like, oh, I kind of like that. You wouldn't be disappointed. You wouldn't be like, man, that sucked. But it would just be that like, well, kind of seen this before. It's almost by rote. But there's so much of it that's so good up until that point that it's just sad.
It is sad, and you know, there's enough good that make me want to pay attention to the people who are involved, and of course, give them a strong ruler smack on the back of the hand.
Okay, tell me if you noticed this. You know, like I said, it's been some years, 20 years, and Celia Ward, I don't know if she's had Botox or whatever, but they threw such a soft filter on her in every scene.
Oh my God,
that it's like. I was thinking, like, maybe I need to go see my eye doctor again. Because suddenly she would come on. It was like the screen was just blurry.
Oh, she's going to be starring soon in Olin Mills, the movie. Get your Christmas pictures now for half price.
I thought I could make this work. But you can't. I thought you could be Mrs. Grady Edwards. What are you doing, Kelly?
What did you say?
No. Who am I here?